edition of Pro Wrestle Times PWT podcast. Phil Marks here, yeah. And Hairline is not here, but we're still gonna give him a yeah because we love him. Yeah, and I miss my boy, and I'll address that in just a second. Not to worry, folks. Getting into this latest edition of Pro Wrestle Times podcast, even without Hairline here, he'd smack the shit out of me if he was here, and I did not do the plug. So at Pro Wrestle Times everywhere on social media, check us out on the internets, and yeah, we are also PWT Podcast on TikTok, where Hairline's very active, and we got to shout out our patrons. I have to shout out our patrons. Sorry, folks, I am not used to doing the show alone.
Dummy, yeah.
But it's all good, baby. So patrons, Reggie Rodriguez, Ashley V, Mark Q the Mark, shout you guys out. Patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. That's the best way to support us. If you want to throw us some scratch, I don't know. If you want to just support us for free, hit that like and subscribe button, hit the share, favorite it, 5-star, whatever you got to do, man. You know what to do. Just click something. You know what I mean?
Bruh.
Okay. So we'll just get right into things. You guys are probably like, "Where's Hairline?" I know Robbie C's freaking out right now. I'm just joking. But Hairline announced, if you call it that, he announced to me anyways, but he's going to be taking October off from the podcast. And not to worry, he's not dead, he's not sick, no one in his family died, we're not in a fight, everything's fine. He had a couple things happen to him back to back, like literally back to back, which I'll allow him to divulge at his own whatever. But he had something kind of traumatic happen, and then he had another thing kind of like shitty happen, like in his not to pull the curtain back on the work, you know. I'll let him divulge all that. It's not my place, but I miss you, buddy. We all miss you. The listeners miss you. Yeah. I want you guys to put all the love in the fucking live chat, in the comments. That means you, Robbie C. I'm just playing around, but you know, I need all the love, and give us a spirit bomb of fucking love energy, everyone. I want to see everyone. I can see you all. Put your fucking hands above your heads and give a spirit bomb of love energy towards Hairline. He's just going through it, man, and we all go through it. And you know, like, mental health is no joke, especially like in men, dude. I'm not one of these dudes, but men's hearts explode, and they do the a-do-a-diddle. I don't know what to call the self-deletion thing. Not that Hairline's at that point or anything like that. Not to alarm anyone. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, men in general, dude, we go through it, and it's just like something people don't you know, give a shit about, like substantially higher than women, you know. So not to Andrew Tate everyone, but that is a thing that should be noted. And so I just told him, take as much fucking time as you need. The listeners understand. And I'm going to try and pump out the content. Yeah. It would be awesome if Hairline came back and we had 1,000 fucking subs. You know, he was like, I want it for Halloween. And then unfortunately some shit happens, and he's not here to grind it out in the trenches, even though he is grinding it out always in spirit and in mind and in heart and soul. And yeah, I talked to him. He's all good. And if he comes back sooner, fuck yeah, he could call me tomorrow and be like, "Oh, well, I'm good now. Let's do it." And thank the Lord. We did have an episode in the bank. It was honestly dated, I'm not gonna lie, and then I just felt weird because of the circumstances. I was like, do I even release this, honest to God? So I just was like, fuck it. It's episode 31. We just hit 30 on a high note. We're gonna go 31, Etch-a-Sketch, the new era of AEW, the new era of PWT, I guess, where, I don't know, the road to 1K, Hairline wanted to hit it for Halloween. All of a sudden, with shit out of our control, he you know, just mentally can't be here for Halloween. So let's get to a K for Halloween, bro. That'd be like crazy for him to come back to that. We love you, motherfucking Hairline. We hope you come back so soon. I'll put my fucking homeboy over all day, all night. So, you know, if you guys want to hear 2 hours of that, give me a hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I know Hairline would love that, and so would Robbie C, but I got to get on with the show. I got to give you guys some wrestling shit. So much has happened, and we got to get to it. So I'm going to jump into it, guys. On this show, we're going to talk about No Mercy. We're going to talk about AEW WrestleDream. We're going to talk about he who shall not be named, I guess. The guy, he who switched his name and nothing else, I guess. Edge in AEW. We're going to listen to some of the press conference, and we're going to talk about Raw because I watched it, and let's do it. I'm going to try and keep this as current as possible. This is a little fucking weird. I haven't done this alone, but we're we're going to work this out. Yeah. Oh, and one last thing. Because Hairline's not here, like if he's not here, I'm not just going to do this alone every time. I might hit up some people. Like Hairline and I have talked in the past, we might bring in this interview or whatever. And Hairline's even giving me shit. He's like, dude, like when I'm not able to podcast, why don't you like talk to one of these people? And I'm like, yeah, sure, because I'm the one who always brings it up. But then it's like, I just like doing our show, so that we just never got it. But I'm like, okay, if he's not here, he'll call me a dummy. Yeah, if he comes back and I don't like try and get a female perspective on the show or try and get one of our dirt sheet guys on the shit. Not that we have dirt sheet guys, but you guys know what I'm saying.
Dummy, yeah.
So it's like, if he's like, yeah, I'm still not feeling it. Okay, I might reach out and try and do something unique. So it's not just me babbling to you guys, to the hairline drones out there. So anyways, though, let's get into NXT No Mercy, man. NXT overall, it's just a great show. I mean, I don't know what else I can say about it. Like the TV's great. People are giving Shawn Michaels heat or hate or whatever you want to call it for saying NXT's the best shit since the Attitude Era or whatever. And people are giving him shit for that. And it's, I don't know, a promoter putting over his promotion. Big deal. And that's something we're going to talk about later. I realized about Tony Khan, man. Like, sorry, Tony Khan. I didn't mean to say Khan, man. I know people do that on like X and social media as like a barb at him. I legitimately did not mean that way. I just meant Tony Khan, man. He just wins me over at these press conferences because he's so geeked out and like in more ways than one. And I don't know. I love that. For some reason, it's like I would hang out with him. Honest to God, guys. At the end of the day, we're all fans of wrestling and like we're nerds, dude. We're wrestling nerds. If I had $1 billion, I'd toss $1 billion as well. It doesn't mean I'm not going to make fun of Mox's shitty comment. I'm not going to make fun of Mox's shitty commentary or whatever. It doesn't mean I'm not going to call it out for being like, yo, this shit is just thrown together bullshit. But I said it before, man, with these press conferences after Allin, I know I was going kind of like, what's the point? And all that, but I don't know. Collision's had some good shows since we've last brought reviews to you guys. The AEW's had some decent stuff, and I don't know. Nothing's gonna change, but my stance is a little more in the positive of like, yeah, are the fans shit next sometimes? Yeah, but god damn it, there is some gold there, which we'll get to. But speaking of gold, the gold and white NXT No Mercy NXT Women's Championship match kicks off the show, I believe. Hairline's way better. He takes the goddamn notes and then it's all ordered out way better. But I'm just going to go through the goddamn card the way I took my notes because I just write the shit that's over with me. So we had Kalani Jordan versus Blair Davenport on the pre-show. The match was whatever. Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin. This was a good match. Corbin got the win, which I didn't expect, but I think Braun might be headed to the main roster pretty quick, which is why they did that. Again, I don't know. NXT pretty much is main rosters. We'll talk about on Raw. Trick Williams was on Raw. But either way, this was a pretty good match. Two big guys slapping meat. What can you say about it? The finish was nice. And I don't know. Corbin's like, I don't know. I see why they like him in WWE, talent cuts come and you go, is it really Ziggler and not Corbin? But there's a reason. Corbin he'll take chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad. But anyways, Noam Dar versus Butch. This was a great match, but it went entirely too long. And I don't like this NXT Global Heritage shit. I don't like the format of it. I get they're trying something new. It went to like 6 rounds or so. If you're going to do it like 5 rounds, lean more to that MMA element. You know what I mean? And then moving along, we had the NXT Championship, Tag Team Championship, the Fatal 4-Way Tag match. this was a bunch of just green. I don't know. Like apparently D'Angelo actually hurt himself. There was so much unnecessary. Like their division is they have depth, but it's all really green, and there's nobody who. If it's me, if I'm WWE, I'm sending DIY, who we'll talk about later. I'm sending them down to NXT to just reign with the tag titles again and carry them around the main roster and get them over. I know the family's like hot and everything, but just everyone's so green. So this match didn't really do it for me. Garza and Carrillo are the best part of the match. The Creed brothers really have something. If I'm WWE, again, here I'm just fantasy mark booking for you guys. If I'm WWE, I'm eventually bringing the Creed brothers up and then they'll join American Alpha while Otis either stays with the group or breaks off, and then Maxine goes off with what's his name, Ludwig, which is what Hairline's been fantasy mark booking. Which at first I was like in denial. I was like, no, fuck you. But he's so right. He's been calling it since the beginning, you know? So I think that's totally where they're going with that eventually. It only makes the most sense, right? Anyways, moving along. The NXT North American Championship match. We had Dirty Dom Mysterio take on Trick Williams. And fuck, man, such an overheel. Trick is so over. Whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. Get him. Whoop that Trick. I need that on the soundboard. Motherfucker. Trick is so good. I thought, not thought, but you just kind of saw it coming like, okay, Mello and Trick, one of them's going to win and one of them's going to lose. And you had to think that Mello was going to lose because he has to turn heel, right? Like if either of those guys are turning heel, you don't just sweep. Like Mello's kind of like had his run. He loses the belt to Dragunov, who never had the belt, which we're about to get into, right? And then Trick wins the North American Championship, which I did not see coming. And then on Raw, they played into that way harder too. And damn, I wish Hairline was here. Maybe this isn't a good month for Hairline. No, we're brothers, man. He knows I'm only saying that in jest, but it's like the Judgment Day is about to fucking break up right before Halloween. God damn it. Like, God, he's probably losing his shit right now. So I really want his thoughts on that, but it's so sad. It's so depressing.
Emotional damage.
We're all just sitting here fucking, where's Hairline? No. We got it. You guys like me too, you motherfuckers. Hairline's always crying about the P drones. You guys better turn out for this shit or I'm going to be really fucking mad. Or I'm taking a break too, god damn it. No, I'm just playing. But so yeah, it looks like Judgment Day is like really fuck, man. Who knows? And then you're looking at Priest on Raw, and it's like he's got the briefcase, he's got the titles, he's going off, right? Like something's got to give here soon. I think he tries to cash it before the Rumble. That's my prediction. Give me the X-Files. So moving along though. So anyways, though, that was a great match and Mommy still wasn't there because she was hurt and that's sort of why he lost. But it's weird that none of the other guys show up to NXT ever, but I digress. We had the NXT championship match, Carmelo Hayes versus Ilja Dragunov up next. At first, this match kicked off. So yeah, it's the time. You have to, like, Dragunov's super over as a babyface. You have to turn Hayes, right? He can do heel. You have to do it, and then you get a program out of him and Trick for the North American title. That just elevates that shit. Like now Carmelo's like gonna be like, I'm gonna come for your whatever. And I'm sure he'll get a rematch with Dragunov, but wasn't that the rematch right there? Like they've wrestled a few times. When this match first started, I was like, man, I already seen these guys. And I don't know. I've seen sort of I at least I feel like I did. Maybe I'm just fucking stupid, but I was just not super. I was like, Dragunov's going to win kind of, you know, I just felt like the story's kind of this double angle turn thing is glaringly obvious, but that's not always a bad thing. Like that's what kept me tuning in. And the matches, man. So the point I'm trying to make here is Hayes and Dragunov won me over in this match so hard. They I don't know, Dragunov's just got that intensity, that tenacity. You see the video backstage of him and HBK embracing, and Dragunov's just so intense and like, wow, he's going to be a great NXT champion. And he should be he's like the Walter of fucking, you know, of NXT basically. And I don't know, it's time. You turn Hayes heel. I don't know, man. Maybe get one of those lovely ladies that's with Noam Dar in that group and stick her stick her with as a valet with Hayes or something like that. And then you have him feud with Trick, man. And Trick is the truth. Speaking of Trick, so anyways, the finish to Hayes and Dragunov, pardon me, was tremendous. And there was hard way blood, and I'm a mark for shit like that, especially when you know how like, because you respect it a bit more when it looks so clean, but then you see the blood and you know they're not blading. That's what makes you appreciate it more. You know, when guys are obviously hurting each other and fucking landing on each other and shit, and then people are bleeding. It's I don't know. You don't like that as much, or when they're obviously blading. Mox, I hate to go at Mox. He goes through a table, he blades, it's silly. Anyways, let me sip my coffee. Yeah, man. Trick Williams is your North American champion, and Carmelo Hayes is no longer the NXT champion. So we move along to the main event. Now, WWE, they're genius for doing this. They know how to do this shit so well. So what they did is they promoted this Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton match as the last match on the card. And it's not obvious. It's sort of a swerve, right? Now, I'm going to break this down on a psychological level or whatever the fuck you want to call it, okay? So business, psychological level, whatever. So WWE knew that speculation was, oh, Jade's going to go to NXT first and she's going to show up at No Mercy. And so WWE responds to that by they're like, we never said that, and anything that's come out indicates she wants to go to the main roster. If you've been listening to her interviews, and it seems like they want her to go to the main roster too. So they put Lynch and Stratton on at the end in a match with Extreme Rules, so that someone could just come out and beat the fuck out of everybody and let someone pin someone, and there's not like a ref knockout bump. They can just do it straight up. Like Jade Cargill is going to show up and beat the shit out of Becky and Tiffy, and Tiffy will get the belt back, and then Becky will feud with Jade on the main roster or something, right? That's what everybody was fantasy mark booking if you pay attention to social media. I was fantasy mark booking something a little bit different. Didn't happen. Whatever, doesn't matter. But Jade did not debut, but WWE was so smart to put this match on last, so you're tuning in and you're staying there, and you watch till the very last second, and the numbers probably shot up at the end there if you're on Peacock, because people are like, oh, I want to see if Jade's going to be here, and they all expected it and it didn't show up. But we're not disappointed because there's no promise, there's no like Meltzer stooging when she's going to start and all this type of shit. You know what I mean? But in contrast, you look at WrestleDream with the whole Edge thing, and I'll break this down more later, but they just shoehorned in just out of nowhere Christians, the main event they announced last second, and the promo code was EDG9. I'll break it all down in a bit, but they literally Meltzer stooge it. Like, you guys have to remember, right? Dave Meltzer obviously knew that Jade was leaving and renegotiating AEW and whatnot. Right, we knew that was he had to have known that. Do you understand what I'm trying to get at? There's no way he didn't know. Like, they're too close, and he didn't say one word about it. Why? Because it puts AEW in a bad light. But then what did Meltzer do? He was tickled pink to fucking go, Edge is going to a WWE backstage, believe Edge is leaving. He couldn't wait to say that because it puts AEW in a good light. So just always remember that, guys. That's why we poke the bear. That's why we make fun of it. That's why we laugh. It's glaringly obvious what you guys are doing. So stop pretending. Like, if you just owned it, it'd be okay. But if you don't own it, we're going to make fun of that. I'm going to poke at that shit, and I'm going to call it out when I see it. But that's a good thing for WWE. Dave doesn't understand how that was a good thing for WWE because there was no expectation. Dave leaked it out, and then the AEW thinks they're cute with their fucking little, we'll get into it after, they all stooged it. I'll break it down after. But anyways, moving along, the main event was really fucking good for like the wrong reasons, right? Like, it was Tiffany sitting swantons on the fucking outside. It was beautiful, stunning, graceful. When the table doesn't break, I like that sometimes. I won't lie, because that is for shoot more painful. Just the exploding table looks cooler. But so I don't want to say I'm a fan, but like if you want to talk about what really, like, them putting their bodies on the line, and Tiffy just she's just so ahead of her time. I can't really. I thought she was going to win. I thought Jade was going to show up. I thought that was the obvious move, because I really felt like they're making plays to make NXT the official third brand and get 1 million viewers and try and build it up to that same 2 million mark every, like, Raw and SmackDown do. But maybe they are doing that just slowlier, because they probably got all the same amount of eyeballs Jade was going to draw anyways, and then they'll just get it again when she actually does show up. And they're very smart to announce. A lot of people are shitting on them announcing it ahead of time, and you're so dumb, dude. Like, they turned her into a megastar before she even shows up on TV. They already told you she's a big megastar, and then you look at her and you go, oh shit, she's a superstar. Like, that's a WWE superstar. That's what she looks like. So and that's what she wants. She wants moments. She wants this, and we'll talk about it. Actually, I could probably just play the clip from the press conference. It'll be great. So so that was NXT. Shout out Becky, shout out Tiffy. They fucking killed it. That match was phenomenal. I don't know, Becky retains, and I hope she keeps just like giving these younger girls the rub as they make their way. I think Tegan Knox is up next, who knows. But not to segue here real quick, but I was just talking about the press conference and Jade, so that's a pretty good segue. So let me pull up the press conference, and I'll try and find, I didn't timestamp it, but Tony Khan did get asked about Jade Cargill. So here is Tony Khan. He talks about Jade Cargill and basically the renegotiation. And he's such a sweetheart, honestly. He's so cute. But he's coming from like a good place here. And basically, I don't know how he interprets this, but I'm just going to let him know. I'm going to fill everyone in on what this means after he gives his spiel here on why he couldn't re-sign her.
Dustin Rhodes, wrestling Terry Taylor. But
he's marking out about old WCW for a second. He starts to. This is why I love him, because I'm a mark for old WCW. But he's wearing an Inoki scarf. We'll get into it when we review. Not to do this all out of order, but it's a good segue here to get into WrestleDream in a sec. So right here, he talks about Jade and the renegotiation, and it's just so obvious she just wanted to go to WWE, and she tried to play it nice on the way out, but she definitely not used, but I will not say that whatsoever, because it's the business. This is the wrestling business. Take care of you and your family, and money's not a factor to her. And that's what's funny, is because Tony, he's so cute because he reveals a lot. See, I'm very psychoanalytical with this shit. You guys know who listen to the show, and it's like, he's so cute because he just throws money at things, right? And then you'll see, like, okay, her husband has all the money. She has all the money. She could just do Instagram probably and have all the money. Money's not a factor for her, right? What's a factor for her is she wants to be a household name. She wants to be like a superstar. She wants to be in movies. She wants to be The Rock, right? And her husband's like a baseball player. So he made astronomical money, makes astronomical money. Like, money's not the factor, but it's cute how he just talks about, like, he thought he matched her match and that wasn't good enough for, and she was like, sorry, no. But I don't think he realizes, like, she only upped the money again so that you would just not be willing to counter back. And then he upped her up. Like, instead of going, I agree to that, then her going, I got a better deal. He upped her up, and then she had to go, I'm sorry, Tony, still. So it's just so cute. I'm not even gonna roast him for it. If I had money, I don't know. Rich guys, this is why they're oblivious. Like, rich guys aren't dumb, but they're dumb like in certain ways, right? Right. So here, let's listen to Tony Khan.
Did you already know that this was the game plan?
No, I knew Jade's contract had been ticking down, and we were talking about a new contract, and I was very interested in Jade coming back, and we were having a negotiation, and I think it was I made a very big offer, and I thought it was a very fair offer, and I think she was considering it, and then she asked for a bigger offer, and then I went up again, and I kind of thought that was going to do it, and then it didn't, which I was surprised, because to be honest, I came up to a number that was higher than her original ask. So
Listen. So he came up to a number higher than her ask. He came up to the number higher than her ask. That's crazy to me. Sorry, go ahead.
What I would have had to do at that point. So I was a little surprised, but I was when I did, when I answered your question, really hope Jade would be back. I think I tried to handle it when we were down to the nitty gritty and we were in the final couple weeks and we still hadn't agreed to something. Then it was at the point where I said, okay, well, if you aren't going to stay, I want to give you the best possible exit.
Which he did. He did. Even though laying down for Stat, I'm telling you, Stat is a WWE or one day as well. I'm telling you. And he did give her a great send off. I mean, he let her run undefeated and then she just laid down on her way out of the territory. You can't ask for more than that. You know, she did the right thing. He did the right thing. That's how I feel.
I have only good things to say about Jade. I really enjoyed working with her. She was a great part of AEW. She's always welcome here. I tried to give her the best possible send-off I could. The classiest send-off I've ever seen in wrestling was, at the time, I thought it wasn't the kind of send-off I really saw, and I was 10 years old, and I could tell it was different, was when Ric Flair left the WWF. And he did a match with Mr. Perfect, who was a natural person for him to wrestle, and that was it. And then he was gone. They didn't do anything to embarrass him or mess him up, or they let him leave, and he was still Ric Flair.
God,
he wrestled
marking out over WWF.
He should have wrestled, finished up, and left.
I love it.
Not only, to say the least, not only with his dignity, but in probably a better position than he came in. And that's what I tried to do. I wanted to give her the best possible send off. I think the natural thing was there was no rematch ever against Chris Statlander. So,
and that's true too. That's true too. And people might be like, "Oh, he just shit in her mouth." No, they didn't go out there and say, "Jade, go have a 20-minute classic on your way." She just went out and wrestled the same amount of time. She wrestles every fucking match because she's green. She's fucking green. But she wants to be a household name, folks.
I had her do a run in and lay out Statlander, knowing that it was going to set up the match where she would likely finish up unless we came to an agreement at the last minute, which I was really still hoping would happen down to the last minute, to be honest with you. And I don't think I'm talking out of school. I have only positive things to say, but that's where it was at. So I thought I had a pretty good.
It's just such an L that he didn't fucking re-sign her contract before, or like approach her and go, "Okay, I'm going to make you women's world champ." Like, how the fuck didn't he put his women's world title on her? I have no, or even like she fights for the belt in her last match and loses or something. Like, how did they not even get that done? That's what's astonishing to me. Anyways, we'll continue along.
Plan at that point that, if this is it, that's where we'll finish up. When she did the segment where she returned on Collision to set up her final match the following week on Rampage against Chris Statlander in the main event, and she did the run in, and Tony Schiavone came up to the desk, tapped on my monitor and said, "You're a classy guy, boss." And I think he meant it. That was a classy way to send her off. And, I try to make this a great home for wrestlers. And I want people to see whether you're coming in or coming out. We're going to treat you well. And I really respect and value Jade. So I wanted to give her a good send off. And like I said, I wish her the best. And she'd always be welcome back if she wanted to come back. Thanks.
He didn't really answer the question, though. The question was, Tony, did you know that her end goal eventually was, I would like to go to WWE, essentially? And, he didn't even address that, but he explained his side of things. Okay, it's your narrative, B. But yeah, so we'll go back and listen to more. We're going to listen to Edge and Christian later on in the show. But first, we'll do it after this next review here. I want to review WrestleDream.
Yeah.
So moving along to WrestleDream, this event, it was in Seattle, Washington. It had like 6K people in the building. That's fine. AEW actually set it up where the ring was actually surrounded with people. See, they're doing the smart thing. And what this is inevitably, instead of just packing the hard cam side, they just darkened out the top and then filled all around the fucking ring. And then that just looks way better. And inevitably, it's like, just go to smaller buildings. I just don't understand why they just don't do that. And then the noise will be crazier and all that, but it's all good. Maybe it's just the allure of like, we do these big buildings, but I'm not going to shit on it. I'm going to just say, I'm just going to look at it like, if I had $1 billion, dude, I guess I'd do the same thing. But maybe after this show, which was promoted as end of an era, which is fucking stupid because every match on this fucking card had no build to it whatsoever. End of what era? That's end of an era, quote unquote, is like you could build to that for months and months and months and sell tickets and pay-per-views. End of what era? It could have been the end of multiple eras or something. I don't fucking know. You could have built a story out of, well, it's the new era. It's the end of Danielson's era of wrestling regularly. He's only gonna do handpicked opponents, and this is the first one. This is the era of Edge, and this is the era of fucking, I don't know, maybe you fucking paid Jade a shitload of money to have her drop the belt at this show or something. I don't know, man. There's so many things you could have done if that was what you're trying to do, but it's just the fucking rated R era is what they were alluding to, which is very stoogey of them, and I'll break that all down later. But shout out AEW because I mean, this was a moment. You can't say it wasn't. It was it was a secret that people said was the worst kept secret, but it was a secret that people, I think, still just couldn't believe, like couldn't even wrap their heads around that would even fucking happen. Sort of the way it did too, which we'll break down in a minute. I don't know. I'll get into more of that later. But Seattle, Washington, 0 hour kicks off, and Tony Khan's in the ring with an opening ceremony to honor Antonio Inoki. Shout out Antonio Inoki, RIP, man. I'm a fucking Inoki Mark II, especially in that Hulk Hogan Ichiban era, dude. That's my shit. Anyways, so he's with the grandsons of Antonio Inoki, and he is with Shibata in the ring, and they do the Ichi Nissan Da, and they have a picture of, I'm such a Mark. Hairline would be roasting me so fucking hard right now.
Dummy, yeah.
Oh my god, dude. So Tony's geeking out. They gave him an Inoki scarf, and they have a bunch of these scarves, whether that was really an Inoki scarf or they just manufacture a shitload of them and tell people they were Inoki scarves, remain to be seen. But that's my that's my theory on things. But I don't know. They just Shibata's a student of Inoki, and fucking RIP. And he does deserve an event. If anyone deserves an event dedicated to him, it's fucking Inoki. So like Tony Khan's got $1 million and he does an event in honor of Inoki. I'm gonna fucking be cool with that. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I can't even hate on that. So 0 hour, we got Jim Ross, we got Excalibur, and Nigel McGuinness. This was actually a good lineup. Excalibur wasn't pissing me off so bad with Nigel and Ross there. It's like they kind of hone him in, when you got Shivani there and shit, or Chris Jericho, it just gets goofy. Anyways, the first match was an 8-person mixed tag team: Diamante, Mercedes Martinez, Lee Moriarty, and Shane Taylor versus Athena, Billy Starks, Keith Lee, and Kojima. This match was so fucking random. I have no idea why they threw this together. I love all these people involved. Athena, me and Hairline get into fucking screaming matches over Athena and how over she is in Ring of Honor, how she's gotten over everywhere she's ever been. You put her on Dark, she gets over. She figures out a way. Billy Starks is great. She's great. Keith Lee's awesome. It looks like he's kind of getting back to his like old roots, kind of just, he's looking good, man. That's all I'll say. Kojima, okay, shout out Kojima. I won't be mad at Kojima. But and then I put these girls over on another episode. Diamante and Martinez, love that team. Taylor and Moriarty together, love that team. This is just weird and a random clusterfuck, but okay, they're trying something new. It was kind of compelling to see like you're like, oh shit, it's like 4-on-4, but it's there's 4 girls and 4 guys. Like it did look cool, but I mean, what was this really? I don't know, right? To me, it's like Athena and Diamante are like 2 of the best workers in there. Whatever. I won't spend too much time on this. The match was shout out Shane Taylor, shout out all these people. Even Athena hit the O face on Moriarty, and then they just pinned him, squashed him, even though this is like his 2nd or 3rd reinvention. Oh, Moriarty's now with Shane Taylor, and he's a whatever guy, he's a pure athlete or whatever. Like they've changed him like 3 times now, but he's just the same, and he's just a jobber. I don't know. I like Moriarty, but they got to figure out something with that guy. Moving along, BCC with John Moxley. Oh, sorry, pardon me. Moving along, Claudio Castagnoli with Moxley took on the War Master Josh Barnett. Now, I'm an MMA mark. Josh Barnett's, I believe, the youngest UFC heavyweight champion of all time. I believe that record still stands. He's one of the he's like the second UFC heavyweight champion, I believe, as well. He's like the second or third, I would like to say. And he's one of the greatest catch wrestlers of all time. That's a shoot. Now, this match was whatever. Barnett trained with Inoki-san. He is, like Inoki's given him his blessing. Josh Barnett was basically just putting over Claudio as like, yo, this is like, if Inoki would have liked anyone in the business today, it would be you. So let's do this in honor of him. I'm cool with all that. John Moxley was the absolute shits on commentary. I just can't help it to tell you guys. And like, he's popping Jim Ross and all that. And I get it's funny, but he doesn't get how, like, I don't know, you guys, you got to figure it out with this guy, man. He can't be on commentary. And I'm not offended by him going like, oh, we just gave that shit away for free. Like, I'm not worried about that, but it's the cool guy. Yeah, shooby doo what? Like, it's almost like he's trying and he's stepping on shit, and then there's things going on where Color's got something to say and he's just like bibbling, talking about some other shit, and he was atrocious. But this match was what it was, and shout out Claudio. He gets the win, and in a good fashion as well. Sort of buried the Sabre Jr. Danielson shit later, because this was a little cleaner than that, I almost feel like, in some aspects. But either way, Barnett cuts a promo. They shake hands. I'm a mark. I'll take it. It's on the pre-show. Okay, that's like a pre-show thing, but it's weird. This is where Claudio, he's wrestling on pre-shows and losing to Eddie Kingston. Like, that's where he went. And you guys were talking about fucking him being in WWE's the US champion. He loses to Roman. He's taking on Shinsuke and all this shit, having bangers with Sheamus, and that's worse than this. That's crazy, but obviously I don't know better than him, and he wanted to go to AEW, but I just, hopefully, like, I don't know, man, put the world title on him, have him and Joe go at it for the world. Well, Edge is there. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So anyways, up next we have Luchasaurus versus Nick Wayne. This match was completely unnecessary, but it's Nick Wayne's hometown. Lucha beat Nick Wayne. I tweeted out on X, or X'd out on tweet, whatever you want to call it, Twitter, that Nick Wayne, after Lucha fucking chokeslammed him onto the fucking apron over the top rope, he should have just threw him in the ring and covered him. I don't know if you, the listeners out there, watched the event or not, but there was a spot. It was brilliant. And this match is good. Lucha's just working big man style. He gets it. Whoever got in his ear, Christian, obviously, they got something with Luchasaurus. Change the name. That's all I'm saying. Don't even stop being whatever Saurus, but Luchasaurus. Get rid of the Lucha. Be Dinosaurus. I don't know. I don't have a good one, right?
Dummy. Yeah.
But just think of something, But either way, though, Nick Wayne, later on in the night, he would be back. And I just think, again, if you're going to choke slam a guy over to the apron, don't have him come back. Like, you could have did this on Collision or some shit, and then had Nick Wayne just run out for the main event with his ribs taped up, because that's crazy to even do to someone, let alone the match went on for a bit longer. Like, what the fuck? But overall, though, I got to shout Luchasaurus out, man. He's really getting over with me every time I see him wrestle. That big man style psychology. Hairline, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the AEW World Trios Championship match was up next. TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel. Two of these guys, Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes, they were in WWE as Shane Thorne and whatever the fuck the other guy's name was. There, shout them out. This bad dude Tito guy, I'm not too familiar with, although I have heard of him before, like via social media or something. Caster bodied it. His fucking rhymes were stellar. This match was whatever, though. I mean, it's just a random team they threw on. Shout out TMDK. I know that they're Zack Sabre Jr.'s crew, but again, it's just, we just threw this together. Like, you couldn't have gotten them just like attacking the Acclaimed and then things like this for a few weeks. I don't know. Oh, but they travel around the world to do the indies and stuff. Yeah, but this is what's stopping you from from being just taking it to that next level, boys. That's all I'm fucking saying. This is but I'm never going to hate on TMDK showing up and getting a fucking paycheck, because those are two guys, like, how were they not on your main roster tag division doing jobs, like in WWE? That was crazy to me. The mighty O'Neil. But anyways, moving along. So Max Caster hits the mic drop and they get the win, obviously. So we kick the pay-per-view off. It's the 2-on-1 handicap match. Taz comes out. He joins the broadcast booth. MJF cuts a promo. He's like, I'm going to fucking body. He just buries these two motherfuckers. He's like, I'm going to shove this guy's head up your ass. He's doing the baby face thing. I've called it out on previous shows where, like, okay, the old adage, like the old school wrestling, is a baby face can't promise or say that they're going to do things they don't do. Right. So they go, I'm going to try. I'm going to give it my all to defeat you and things like that. But if he goes, I promise I'm gonna beat you at the pay-per-view with I swear on my family, and then they don't beat them at the pay-per-view, like the babyface loses, it like buries you, right? Like that's something you just don't do. You don't promise shit you don't deliver on. So MJF is literally, he's going, I promise I'll choke out Samoa Joe. And then he chokes out Samoa Joe. He's going, I'll shove your head up your ass. I swear, when you get out here, I'll shove this guy's head up your ass. And then he does it. I don't know. He's genius, but to me, bro, this should not be what your world champion's doing. This isn't a marquee match. Oh, but they needed Christian on the main event. And so, but then the people would say, why wasn't the world title in the main event? So they found a way to circumvent that. No. No. It's just like, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. Then do an injury angle or do, I don't like the other dude's injured. Adam Cole's shoot injured, and then you have this guy just pissing in Dutch and Vince's mouth on TV. Like, how do you just bring they're great in ROH, and then you just bring them up for 3 weeks? They do rank shit. They like broke some dude's fucking leg, some jobber's leg on like a brick of wood on Collision or whatever, and then they just come in and then MJF just beats them. He does. And like, I don't know. He's brilliant though. Like he's one of the best workers in the company without question. And just the fact, like, yeah, he says it in the press conference, we're going to listen to some of the press conference later, but he just says it, like he does the scoop slam. He gets it over. Kangaroo kick, Hairline shoved that shit in my face too, because he got the kangaroo kick over.
Dummy. Yeah.
And I don't know how the fuck he honestly did, because I was like, that's going to be pushing it. Like, I don't think you can go further than that. He just, in this one, he shoved a guy's head up the dude's ass. And for me, this is like WWE style. Like, you remember when people would go, WWE is just like for kids, it's insulting our intelligence. That's what MJF feels like to me. And Hairline would bring that up. Oh, fat jokes. He's like, yeah, you fat boy. And it's like he does fat jokes, dick jokes, and then he shoves heads up butts, and he does a kangaroo kick, and he gets, like, he's literally healing, and he's doing it while he's like technically a heel, but he just is playing into like man children shit, and you can call that genius, but I don't know if the masses, I don't know how this era of MJF is going to go down in history. Like when you look back to, he does the dinner debonair and these things where that was like, okay, I'll give that a pass because it was COVID era, but we're getting to the point where it's like, God damn it, man. This is like, do I like watching him wrestle? Yes. Do I like watching him in Adam Cole's segments? Yes. Do I like watching it for the reason I like watching wrestling? Not really. That's what it's turning into, which is weird because I always loved MJF because he would just like armbar people. Or I remember when he was like, I'm going to beat Darby with a headlock takeover, and he beat Darby with a headlock takeover. And it was genius the way he did it. I don't know. I want that MJF back, I guess, but he just called me a mark and told me to shove it, which is fair. So he beats them. He just pisses in their mouths. And this was a good match. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. There's something about this Vincent guy. I don't like him talking. He should talk less. That's all I'll say. I think, right? Butch is the chubbier guy. Whichever guy is the guy who does like the tongue thing, he should just be the only one to talk. The other dude should chill. And I think Hairline revealed to me that dude used to be a Ring of Honor cosplayer, or a Randy Orton cosplayer, pardon me. That's fucking crazy, before he was in Ring of Honor. And that shit popped me hard. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know that. Not a cosplayer, but like he he was in like one of those mimic leagues where you do like fake, he does like a fake wrestler, and he was Randy Orton or whatever. So up next, we have the Ring of Honor World and New Japan World Strong Openweight Championship match. Eddie Kingston versus ROH Pure Champion Katsuyori Shibata. And someone tweeted out before the pay-per-view, they were like, whose WrestleDream is this? Like, whose dream of wrestling is this? And I quote tweeted, and I was like, Eddie Kingston's when I saw this match. But I don't know, man. I gotta be honest. This was I'm just not so much into this. I think like Shibata's awesome. Shout him out. Kingston loves Inoki. Shout out Kingston, I guess. I won't go as hard as as Hairline would, but this just wasn't for me. Honestly, I was tuned out, and I was like, wow, this pay-per-view is really starting off a little weak, and overall it was kind of mediocre. That being said, though, it ended really strong. But anyways, the TBS championship match, Statlander versus Julia Hart with Brody King. So Tony Schiavone comes to the broadcast booth for this one, and then I don't know, the match kicks off. It's all good. They basically, so Julia Hart, the story is like she has been undefeated in all of 2023 up until this point, and Statlander beat her. She defeated the undefeated, and she's also defeated the undefeated by beating Jade and ending her streak. So, I think that's a cool little story you got going on. She's got a great look. Her music's cool. In the press conference, the media scrum afterwards, she talked about how, I don't know if I'll play her clip, but she just talked about how like she wasn't even into wrestling. She got asked to be a valet for someone, and then she's like, oh, I think I could do this. And then she started training and got the shit kicked out of her, and like was studying YouTube moves. She would look up like top 10 moves. Now, that being said, just watch her wrestle, bro. She's not doing, I don't know, she gets it better than like 90% of the dudes in AEW. Or maybe I won't say that. Maybe I won't shit on all of them like that. But I don't know. For when I heard her say that, my jaw hit the floor. She literally said she was looking up, like, you guys all know these like top 10 amazing red moves compilation. And it's like to a Slipknot song or something, That is what she was watching to learn how to wrestle. And then she found shit she liked and then learned the fundamentals after. That's crazy. So shout her out. And this was actually a decent match. And Julia Hart's really got something. I like her with Brody King as like her fucking valet. You want to call it that? I know Hairline would roast Brody King. I'm not going to do that. I love him. But I like him as like coming out in his, I don't know. I like his get up. I like his look. And I just, whatever they got going on, it's all good. I like she uses the Spider German. It's the Mark shit. She's got a great moonsault. Her shit is like a shoot. Fucking, she drops like Vader did, though. People are like, oh, Julia Hart's got such a great moonsault. Compare it to Tiffany's. Bro, no one touches Tiffany Stratton's fucking moonsault. And Julia Hart's, she fought Vert Vixen, I think, on Collision. And she fucking dude, you can see her and hear her because they had the mic ringed way too prominently. Go watch Collision, guys. And she like fucking landed on Vert Vixen's head, apologizing to her. She came down like Vader, dog. So Julia, brush that shit up, but it is not as sketchy as Lita's moonsault. She's got the sketchiest one in the business.
Dummy, yeah.
So, but yeah, Statlander gets the win. Shout her out. Moving along. This next match here, this match just really pissed me off, and it was pointless. I X'd out, posted, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This was utterly pointless. So we had an AEW World Tag Title #1 contender match. The Guns and Austin and Colton, Bullet Club Gold, took on the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, who just won the 6-man titles, the Ring of Honor 6-man titles with Hangman. And then they took on the Lucha Bros, where Penta El Zero Miedo and Rey Fenix are teaming up. Now, I don't know if we covered it. I don't know when we covered it, but Moxley got dropped on his fucking head. Okay? He got knocked out, and he's like, cover me. And then, you know what I mean? I think we covered it on the show. Everybody knows already by this point. So Rey Fenix is your international title, and instead of having like Rey Fenix wrestle Shibata-san, like fucking Inoki's student, for the international belt in a great bout, Shibata did the job for Kingston anyways. Like, why didn't they do that? Like, international title, fucking WrestleDream, maybe Inoki's student can become a double champ too. And then we can get double champ versus double champ down the line or something, especially because at the press conference as well, Shibata's talking about he just wants to be in AEW and Ring of Honor like for a long time. He's like, I want to stay here for a long time. Fucking Tony Khan's like, dude, we'll have you forever. Put the international strap on him. Have him shoot, knock fucking Ray Phoenix. Just kidding. I don't wish that on anything, but just have him fucking tap Ray Phoenix. Who cares? The belt already, it's bounced around. It's silly. And then you have the FTW champion Hook and Orange Cassidy in a team. So in this match, you got the Guns who are in Bullet Club Gold. Then you have two of the three ROH six-man champions, the international champion, and the FTW champion. All in one. What the fuck are we doing with all these belts? Why are these the matchups? And then the Young Bucks, who are the six-man champs, right? So instead of like establishing six-man teams, right? Like two guys who just left the tag division to be with Hangman, who's in a singles match, by the way. What the fuck? Just buried three of the top tag teams, I guess, because you know Tony Khan loves Hook and Orange together. They just buried three guys in the division. Like, why the fuck would you do this? Are you guys following me? Like, this just does not make sense. This is nobody's dream. I don't get why the Bucks would have to do this. Do this same match, but do it with the fucking Righteous instead of MJF squishing them. Like, what's going on? Get a team over. This was a moment. I don't know why even have a four-way. It's crazy. Why didn't the Bucks just defend their six-man? Oh, Hangman has a match against Swerve, which, by the way, we're going to get into up next. Great fucking match. That's the transition right there, I guess. They did a bunch of flips, and the fucking and the Young Bucks won the goddamn match. Okay, that's what happened, and it is what it is, and it's silly. But moving along this match, we'll get into the good shit. Hangman Adam Page, and I tell Hairline all the time, man, Page can cut great fucking promos and he delivers on big time matches. Here's the only thing. Again, guys, now you guys can say whatever, but they did the hand stab Undertaker thing where he stabs the hand and then signs the contract in blood. They did that leading into this match. I don't know why fucking AEW can't stop copying WWE with that shit. I don't get it, but either way though, Swerve is just $1 million. Literally every fucking wrestler at that media scrum name drop Swerve as like, yo, he should be the next up. And he fucking should be. This is the thing with Swerve too, y'all gotta understand. They say, yo, Swerve is he's too small. So he bulks up. They say, yo, Swerve, he's a good talker, but this. So he fucking like he hears the criticism and he rolls with it. This is a guy who's like absorbing everything around him. Strap the rocket ship to this motherfucker. That's all I gotta say. I've been putting Swerve over forever. Him with Prince Nana, so good. I think this is the faction. I've said it 1,000,000 fucking times. The faction is Prince Nana, Swerve, Hobbs, and that Harley Cameron girl who can sing and rap. That's the faction. The Mogul Embassy, the embassy, whatever. That's the faction. Please, Tony, I know you're in the Discord. Listen to me, and please, that is the faction, okay? But anyways, this match was so good. It went a smidge too long for me. Went a little smidge too long. And I would like to say they got me with the false finishes, but the problem is they do so much that what's going to be false finishes almost. I don't know, but Hangman doing the job was the correct thing to do. And Swerve winning was the correct thing. I'm sorry. I bet you some of the fucking Hairline drones are mad. They're like, oh, we want to break the spots and the fucking, Hairline breaks all that shit down. I just break it down the business, baby. This match was phenomenal. When they tossed out Prince Nana, it was way too fucking late. Also, Swerve was so over though. The fans were behind him. He's hometown. You expect it. It's funny because remember like WWE, they'd go to Canada and be like, or the UK and be like, oh, this is Insano land. This is crazy land where they cheer and for whoever and boo whoever. It's funny because that's what AEW is. Like they are Insano land, like the people just cheer for who they want to cheer. And I know that there's a hometown aspect to it, but yeah, man, Swerve wins. He's so good. He's money. Push this guy to the moon. And I think, honest to God, dude, I would rather see Swerve as the world champion if MJF is just doing this tag shit and just let Swerve, fucking, I don't know if he's drawing ratings. I don't know what's up, but damn, he works good. Hairline would say he does the leg slaps. I did catch a few of those. So if you're listening, Swerve, brother, just work on a few of those, I guess, right? That would be Hairline's main criticism of you. And he's a harsh critique. And I know you don't give a fuck, but I'm okay. I feel like yours are not. I feel like you do them good personally, whatever. But I did catch a few, but it's wrestling, so you're bound to see that stuff, especially when you know what you're looking at. But yeah, man, I don't know. Hangman delivers on the big stage. He always does, man. So yeah, shout out fucking Swerve Strickland and just give him the push. Give him the push. So moving along, Blackpool Combat Club's Wheeler Yuta versus Ricky Starks. Somebody. So I think they're gonna do Starks and Mox next. Yuta fucking does the job. So Yuta does the job for Starks. He hits the Rochambeau and pins him. Does someone not like Starks? I don't know. This match didn't need to be on the pay-per-view whatsoever, but I don't know. Consider this like a Divas Era women's match, the piss break or whatever they used to call it. Like that's pretty much what that is, which sucks because it's Starks. It's almost like, dude, you could have built a really good fucking strong go home show. Up next, we had a dream match, American Dragon, Bryan Danielson versus the New Japan TV champion, Zack Sabre Jr. No title on the line. I don't know, man. This didn't live up to the hype for me. I'm never going to be mad at seeing these two wrestling, but there was no story. They didn't build it up for me. And it's just like someone said, oh, it's Daniel Bryanson's. The story is he's going away and now he's handpicking opponents. Okay, but they didn't really even say that on TV. That's just like, you got to be a big mark to fucking know that. So I know that, so I'm cool with it, and I'll always watch them wrestle. But then Danielson at the press conference, he's backstage laughing about how his arm and his wrist are all swollen and bruised. He just had a fucking surgery with a pin in it. You have to save some of these guys from themselves now. I'm not going to say tell Danielson to retire, but fuck, man. I think I don't know, man. He's starting to I have a different perspective on him since he's been to AEW. I didn't realize on his way out of WWE, I have tremendous respect for Danielson, and he is truly one of my all times. But like, goddamn, he really hurt himself. I think he just really doesn't give a fuck, man. And WWE were reeling him in, and I think that's better for him. Now, I'm not saying retire and shit. And they did tease that Brie Bella, I guess they're asking him. She might come into AEW one day. And I think we should start supporting AEW more, guys, again. I know that there's some people who listen to this to hear us rag on it really hard. And I tell Hairline off pod, I'm like, dude, I want it to be good. Don't you get it? Like, I wish it wasn't just me like snapping out on shit. And so like, I'll take the good, I guess, and then the bad's just got to come with it, because WWE is not 100% flawless either, but it's just more palatable. Like, at least it's firing on multiple cylinders, whereas AEW, it's like, goddamn, but like, they always put good shit and then it's surrounded by so much shit that they don't get drives people off. So I just hope they can reel it in, especially with the debut that we're about to get into. But up next, we had the trios grudge match: Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi. They took on the Callis family, Takeshita, Guevara, and Will Ospreay. I don't know this Guevara, Takeshita, Ospreay faction. I like that these dudes. I like this with Callis now. This Callis family's getting over with me. I'm not gonna lie. This match was just not for me. I don't know what to tell you. Kenny is super over with me. The stuff he was doing, I'm like, dude, he needs to go to WWE. I think if anybody, and I get what he's doing, he'd probably scoff at me and laugh at me. He's probably an AEW for lifer. But to me, he's one of these guys that the facials, his pacing, it's all there, dude. His selling's great. Like, I don't care. Like, I know Jim Cornette and people hate on him and stuff. And I get why. Like, I've seen the clips of him like finger blasting a dude's bunghole, and it's like, what are you doing, in wrestling? If you want to do this, like, I don't know if wrestling's the forum for that. But that being said, man, Kenny Omega he's a tremendous talent. He was really great. Ibushi, clearly, now this is the fourth time we've seen him. Or I might be talking, this is the third time I believe we've seen him back in AEW. And yeah, I think the damage is done. I'm not hating on Ibushi. I never will. I think he gave his body to the business, folks. I think he's I'll never be like he's washed, but yeah, it's just and I'll thank him forever. And it's not like he can't do anything, but his style's clearly what it is now. You're not gonna see him do the things he used to do. That's just never coming back. You can tell. And yeah, I think we're just gonna see him get more meatier and juicier and just kicking people a lot. I think that's a style. To say some positives, Guevara, it's awesome. He's a heel now. He gets great heat. Osprey kind of goes back and forth. Again, Guevara and Osprey, I've put this over on the show before. They're two guys who, when they do flippy shit, they are crazy and they look like they're trying to fucking hurt you or themselves. And that's, if you're gonna be a heel who's a flipper, that's how you do it. It can't be like graceful, and unless you're in like Mexico and it's like CMLL, it can't be that way. These dudes now, I'm not an advocate of like hurt yourself, and Guevara's fucking crazy, and Osprey's clearly changed his style up a bit, although he still does crazy shit, but I think he's reeled it in a lot, which you can tell. And then Takeshita is just awesome. What can we say about him? He's the fucking truth. He'd be good anywhere. WWE, AEW, you stick him anywhere, he's gonna look like $1 million. And it's crazy because I saw videos of him like early on in his career, and it's like, I don't know. He's the 180, the reinvention he's truly done is crazy. So this match, I'm actually going to put it over pretty good, but it was kind of just not for like, I was kind of tapped out of it. And except for like Omega did a few good things and I'm enjoying the family, but then they lose, dude. And Sammy pins fucking Jericho, and Omega's on like a terrible losing streak. And we're going to get the Golden Jets in AEW. So that's going to be the tag team. Chris Jericho pitched it when AEW first launched. Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega are going to team up and take on the tag division. I wouldn't be shocked if they're the ones who beat FTR. Be ready for that. Hairline's going to be like fucking good. Yeah. I know Hairline's popping for that. He's like, fuck yes, take the belts off FTR. But it's yeah, man, it's coming eventually. And I'm kind of excited for it, to be honest. This is kind of what I wanted Kenny and Jericho to do. And I've said this a million times. And people on X who've accused us of being AEW haters, I'm like, no, dude, you don't get it. Like, I wanted, when my fantasy mark booking when AEW first began was Jericho winning the belt, and then Kenny getting it from him. And then after Kenny loses it to Mox or whatever they did there, then it goes Kenny and Jericho team up and go after the tag belts. Instead, they do sort of like the Hangman Kenny rivalry angle instead. But I thought it was going to be like Kenny Jericho type shit. So I love this. I like this. To me, I'm like, okay, do this, right? Like, they're both vets. They both got to take it easy. They can cut the load in half a little bit. And Bullet Club Gold and shit, they'll put on good matches. I don't know. So I know people are probably like, oh, fuck it, Jericho, yada yada, but I'm okay with that. But I just I don't know. This trios match was whatever. But speaking of FTR, we have Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, the the World Tag Team Champions. Pardon me. FTR taking on Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis. Again, they just do a job. So Aussie Open are glorified jobbers, guys. Now, we never shit on jobbers. It's just weird because they're like young and on the come up, and they try and put them over as these like big deals. And they are in the future, but this isn't how you get future talent over. Like, just have these guys reigning supreme in Ring of Honor while you have an AEW tag team division playing out in AEW. I just really don't get it, but I think it's time FTR drop those belts right away. I do. And I would love to see them put in like a run in WWE again. I really would. And it seems as though Cash has a lot more miles left on his body than Dax. And so I would like to see that WWE run sooner than later, because I don't know how long Dax has left. And I'm not shitting on him at all, but he is banged up. And in these big matches, he comes out there taped and padded and fucking braced to the fucking nines. And I don't blame him, brother. And to put on these matches he puts on consistently, he beats the shit out of his body. And I don't, I just want to see him have a WWE one last go, before all is said and done, like the proper way, not when it's too late and it's obvious Cash is just carrying the load, because Cash really did all the fucking selling in this match. And which is, I mean, that's what you do, right? And I'm not shitting on that whatsoever, but I don't know. And I do like Aussie Open. Like they're good. They're a good team, but they just gotta fuck. Like, and it's what Hairline says. What's the difference between this guy, Kyle Fletcher, and Nick Wayne, and Mark Davis and the Butcher? What's the difference between them? Basically, they might as well be brothers. Because it's like, I don't know. It's crazy to me. So either way, though, shout out FTR. And then we get to the main event, the TNT Championship match, 2 out of 3 falls, Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. And basically, we knew what was going to happen. So we're going to break down fucking Edge debuting at the end of this. And we're going to listen to Edge and Christian at the press conference. So just to talk about this match, first and foremost, this match really won me over. Christian sent Lucha over to the back to the back. He's like, no, I can do this alone, and this is why the Lucha and Nick Wayne appearances just felt weird. It's like, we already seen these guys, just, you don't got to do all this. But like, Nick Wayne got fucking chokeslammed over onto the fucking apron. Are you still here, or are you not, like, at the getting checked on medically and shit? Like, it's, you just do, it's weird to me. But either way, Darby shows up, him and Christian fucking go at it, and Nick Wayne's mother's watching from the front row. Christian's playing to that. Darby sneaks a fall by pulling the turtleneck over Christian's face, which was pretty good. Pins him. Christian turns it all hardcore. The match gets crazy. The fans are super into it. They're super behind Darby. The match has great heat. This is honestly, it was good. They start doing some hardcore shit. Christian's like suplexing Darby around, slamming him on steps. Like, guys, go look the highlights up on Twitter. Darby's gonna die or end up in a wheelchair, or he's gonna be in so much pain when he's 80, or he's just gonna be a weird gelatin freak who just doesn't feel this shit or something. Because I don't know what the fuck. This guy got dropped on his head, neck, and shoulder on a ring stair, like on the court, like the way you don't imagine would be a real way to get dropped on the steps. He got dropped on the steps viciously, should be dead. So shout out Darby Allin. And we've put him over a million times. We just wish he's in compelling shit. Well, this is in compelling shit. Christian, I'll give AEW props. This is the only match that had like a bunch of story going into it, into the end of the pay-per-view. So okay, like I'll give them props for that, even though shoehorning this into the main event made what was going to happen so glaringly obvious. And so I don't know, the match was what it was. They both get falls on each other, and then eventually the referee gets knocked out, right? Of course. Like, and it already got hardcore. I guess he's not calling DQs for dropping Darby on his fucking neck on ring stairs and stuff like this. And then there's Christian starts tearing apart the ring. He's exposing the wood on the fucking ground. All of these sort of things, right? And it looks like just a complete clusterfuck, which I felt this sort of took away from Edge's inevitable appearance. I feel like it just, all the ring being torn apart and all that just took a bit away. Like, it'll go down the annals in time. Like, it looks like fucking Edge is at a mud show in wrestling. Like, and I couldn't, but it didn't, I'm not shitting on the debut at all. It actually popped me and I rewatched it like 400 times, but I'm a mark. What can I say? But this match just basically, it turns into a clusterfuck. Everyone runs down, and then Nick Wayne grabs the title, and then he's about to fucking hit Christian with it and help Darby get the last fall while the ref's knocked out. And then he spins around and hits Darby in the head with the fucking title. So Nick Wayne pulls an AR Fox, who just disappeared from TV randomly, and did a double swerve turn. I don't know. This shit is so fucking just ADD. I don't even know what to tell you. It's just so poorly thought out, but it did pop me, and I did not see that shit coming whatsoever. And it made Nick Wayne a little bit interesting. But what are they trying to Wheeler Yuta him? Like they did the same thing with Garcia, with Yuta, with this dude. Like they end up going heel, and they're the youngster on the come up. Tony just falls back on these same. He has like the same 5 ideas he just does all the time, or else they do WWE shit. Anyways, Nick Wayne hits Darby with the title. Fucking Christian gives him a hug. He's like his daddy now, whatever. Nick Wayne's mom's selling it so good. Earlier in the match, she splashed the water on Christian. She's selling it like, oh my God, son, what did you do? Like she can't believe it. And I don't know, man. Nick Wayne's mom, damn, she's I've seen her in person too, and she is an attractive woman. That's to say the least. So shout out Christian for becoming stepdaddy, I guess. But Nick Wayne, I'm interested in him now. And then they're all looking at each other. They're about to concerto Sting. So basically, Darby's getting beat down. Sting comes out. He starts getting beat down. And this was, I don't know, Sting just took his sweet ass time, and it was a little too much. Like, it was like, what the fuck? But obviously, we got a moment of Sting and Edge in the ring together, which is like, fuck yeah, dude. You know, we lived to see that. Now, Hairline, when we were here, I can't remember, guys, on the show. Did he re-bet me? Because I think he was like, how much you want to bet that Edge won't fucking show up, like, ever in history? And then I was like, okay, we'll do a rebet of like whatever, that at some point in history he'll show up and whatever. But I don't remember exactly. That might have even been off podcast, but either way, it's still a debut where it's almost like you couldn't believe it till the last second. Like, really, is he going to show up? And the way Edge debuted, you can't really believe it, because there's weird IP things going on with intellectual property, which we'll get into. So basically, they're about to concerto Sting. The lights go out. All of a sudden, we get a thing that says like our feature presentation. And then fucking you see fucking a dude get into a muscle car. You can't see its Edge, but you can kind of tell it's Edge, right? He's speeding through Seattle and shit. And Edge, will talk about it when we go through the press conference, right? So he's speeding through Seattle. It's a beautiful, this vignette is awesome too. And he speeds across the road, and for a split second on the road, you see like on dirt in the road. I don't know how they pulled this effect off, but it says like rated R, right? And you're like, oh shit. Then the crowd kind of pops, like half the crowd. And then all of a sudden, he pulls up to the arena. Lights go out. They come back on. You think you know me. On this day, I see clearly everything has come to light. I know fucking Hairline would shoot me right now if he was here.
Dummy, yeah.
So Edge fucking comes out. Honestly, even though it's like 6K people in there, the pop was huge. It's the exact same entrance. They got the Metalingus music. They're calling him the rated R superstar. If it's me, I'm accidentally calling him Edge on commentary, but they have to call him Adam Copeland. So somehow the IP, the way it works out, folks, is he can't be called Edge. He can be called the rated R superstar, which they did. AEW's doing that. Like, that's how they're pushing it. And that's, obviously. But they also got Metalingus, but they had to change the you think you know me. So it's like, I don't know. So WWE owns Edge and the original you think you know me, but Edge owns fucking rated R superstar and Metalingus song. I don't know how Tony pulls this shit off. I know that music, Edge, obviously, so he's friends with the band, he said. So when he worked out the deal with WWE, he obviously worked out where it wasn't like a WWE owns this type license. It's like Edge was super over, and a top guy who got a band he liked, who's his friend, to make he explains it in the fucking thing. So Tony, obviously the deal is like Cody's music, right? Where Adam already had this independent shit in mind, which I've talked about on the podcast before with him debuting, is that, you guys, he was going to leave when he was on top in WWE and Christian was in TNA. he debated going to and negotiated with TNA to go there, right? This has been stooged a million times. Edge is a fan of the Young Bucks. Edge is obviously buddies with Jericho. Edge is obviously his brother is fucking Christian. Work, shoot, shoot, work, brother. Edge is a fan of wrestling. He was in WCW, of course, a quick stint. He did do some time on the indies, though, in that 90s early kind of indie era. And obviously, he's done everything. He explains it in the press conference why he went there. Now, there's a bunch of marks online trying to go, he shit on WWE. No, he didn't. He said he felt free. And we're going to get into that, right? But anyways, Edge comes out, huge fucking ovation. Now, everyone standing in the ring and the ring being all destroyed ruined the moment. It should have been fucking Christian should have been super emotional and standoffish. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then Edge should have held his hand out and been like, come on, like, it's me and you. And then Christian should have been like, yes, I knew it. Like, we're brothers, man. That's right. Hand Edge the chair, and then he does his thing. That's my fantasy mark booking. And I think that's what they were going for. But that didn't really, it just was kind of clunky because there was all this shit everywhere. And, you know, the ring's discombobulated and you got fucking 9 guys standing in the ring. So it was weird. But either way, Edge fucking cracks Nick Wayne with the chair. He throws the chair at Luchasaurus, hits the ropes, hits a beautiful spear on Luchasaurus, hits a spear on Nick Wayne. Christian gets out of there with the belt. Christian's been one of the best heels in wrestling, period. And he's going to, his shit's always been compelling. And now that it's going to be him versus Edge, which is what they're building to for the TNT title, which is crazy. And I'm just going to put this out there with Edge. I believe he becomes like a Triple Crown champion in AEW as well. I think that's his goal because they reveal in the press conference, which we'll get to, he's there full time. He's going to wrestle week to week. He's pulling a Punk, man. He's going to be there all the time. And I think he wants to get that TNT title. I think he's going to get the tag titles with Christian. And I think he'll touch that AEW world title before all is said and done. I think even with MJF, I think fucking put the strap on Edge right now. Why fucking not? Why not, dude? But anyways, so Christian Cage, yeah, dude. He powders out. Edge celebrates, shakes hands with Sting. Like, what a moment. Like a WCW guy through and through, and then Edge, who's a WWE guy through and through. You have Darby in there. Darby's over. There's a reason all the vets like fucking Darby, which you guys will see how much Edge likes Darby, or hear rather when we get to that. But there's a reason for that, guys. And then, yeah, man, we're gonna get Edge in AEW, I guess, full time. This popped me hard. I can't wait for like Dynamite tomorrow. And my whole thing is this, you know, I really hope AEW capitalizes on the boost in viewership that they're inevitably going to get. And I hope that I really hope that they take advantage of this and really don't just try and like surround bullshit with this. Because, dude, Edge and Christian are going to knock it out of the park. They're going to give us compelling, incredible television. Yeah, you know, it's like I was telling Hairline, you know, it's like an extra hour of WWE every week we're going to get or whatever, you know, with Edge and Christian being involved. So not to shit on AEW or anything, but I'm optimistic and I hope that they take advantage of it this time and don't squander whatever the fuck happens here, okay? We know Edge is a fan of the Bucks as well, and he's not going to try and go in the locker room and change anything. He's going to go and try and motivate people. And I don't know. I think inevitably we see like a Hardy's Edge Christian thing. It's all coming, man. And then with the Bucks too, like I don't know. We know FTR is also really good friends with Edge as well and Christian. So there's a lot of factors why he'd go over there. And yeah, so WrestleDream overall, it was pretty lackluster, but the end there was like, you know, Swerve and Hangman, and then the main event really fucking were awesome. And then the Edge moment was brilliant. And yes, I've said it a million times, but I'm going to repeat it one last time. I'm going to conjure it up. Please, AEW, take advantage of this and the boost in ratings and the ticket sales hopefully you get, because he's going to be on Collision, and I read they had like 1,800 tickets sold for that. Hopefully they get it up to like 4K or something for Edge, you know. Yeah, that's my review of WrestleDream. So moving along here, I just want to play you guys some of the WrestleDream press conference, and yeah, let me just pull this up for you. I got some timestamps here. So we will listen to first Edge, because he came out first, and then I'm only going to play Edge and Christian.
Let's hear it for the newest member of the AEW roster, Mr. Adam Copeland. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me. So what's new? Sorry.
He's just
going to
pumped
be
to
excellent.
be there.
Well, I'd like to begin.
Yo, and then Tony Khan, he doesn't go, he doesn't go, it'll be great. He goes, this is going to be excellent. Listen to that. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, I'm gonna just restart it from the beginning, dude. He goes, this is going to be excellent. That is fucking hilarious.
Let's hear it for the newest member of the AEW roster, Mr. Adam Copeland. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me. So what's new? Sorry.
This is going to be excellent. Well, I'd like to begin by welcoming Adam to AEW. And I thought it was a great show tonight. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight at AEW WrestleDream. It was an amazing event. Thanks to all of you. And I'd like to announce Adam Copeland has officially signed with AEW.
Yeah.
Congrats on being all elite, and something I'm really excited about, something that I think is going to set this apart, and something that got me even more excited about Adam being here is this is full time. Adam's going to be with us every week. He's going to wrestle. He's a full-time part of the AEW roster. I think it's going to be a long time since anybody's seen Adam Copeland wrestle as much in it, and at the level he's been in AEW. He's already been doing great stuff. He's wrestling at the highest level in recent years, but he's going to be here on a weekly basis, and it's something I'm so excited about because that's great news.
Yo, it's fucking crazy that Sheamus laid down for him on the way out like that. It's to me, okay, everyone inevitably will always go back to WWE at the end of the day, even if it's like for a Hall of Fame induction or, because Christian is bound to get in there eventually. And then you got to think Edge and Christian could even go in together. And Edge is already a Hall of Famer. And, it's crazy that Sheamus did lay down. You'd think that, Edge would have laid down for him, but it's also wild that there's people, the E-drones. So now we got to start calling out the E-drones, because I did see a lot of toxicity and a lot of shitty WWE fans being like, you're a traitor. You sold your soul. And I saw some people just saying some hilarious things. And it's like, guys, you have to be happy for Edge. And go look on Edge's X. I'll read his statement after, to everybody. And there's some people trying to be like, he took shots at WWE, and that's not the case whatsoever. And I don't know. It's like you have to be happy for him if he goes, like, he knows what's best for his career. He knows what he wants to do. He has no ill will with fucking WWE, and he'll be back for sure. And this is actually kind of cool. We get to see this. Like, hopefully he can help these younger guys and shit like that. He did tell Darby Allin, like, yo, I'm not one of these guys to go tell everyone. Well, back in my day, he's like, but if you ask me, I'll give you my knowledge now. It's just the fucking E-drones. Don't be so mad. And they were getting toxic, and they were being like, I'm not, like, fuck you, traitor, and all this stuff. And I don't know, dude. That's all crazy. Everyone needs to settle down. And Edge jumped on that right away, which we'll read in a second. But yeah, let's hear Edge talking.
News for us in AEW. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Part of coming here is that I wanted to contribute. I wanted to help, and I just felt like here I'd really be able to do that and have the opportunity to do that. And I look at an entire fresh
and also get $10 million. But he fucking is very passionate and crazy. Like, and I mean that in the best sense, crazy. Like, he's crazy about this business in the best way. And he's so passionate while he's talking here. You can tell he's giddy and excited. And you have to respect that. Like, if you're mad at him for doing this, you're a fucking idiot, pure and simple. And he just shout out Edge. Yeah.
Roster of faces and so many talent that I've never laid hands on before. And that to me, as a person who is driven by challenges, that for me was the biggest thing. Like, I've never been in a ring with Samoa Joe. I've never stood in a ring with Sting before tonight. After 31 years in the industry, that's never happened. And then I see a guy like Nick Wayne, or I see Swerve. There's just so many possibilities here. And for me at this stage of my career, that is so enticing. That is so exciting. That is so you know, I said it out there after the fact when I came back out there tonight. I felt free. That's just the word like I felt free.
And I saw people, oh, that Shotzi said he felt free. Well, yeah, motherfucker. I love WWE too, but listen, WWE, you're under constraints. You're under the confines of what they expect of you. Your name's Terry Taylor, and they call you the fucking Rooster. Now, I'm not like, I'm not shitting on any of that, but what I'm saying is like, yes, here, Edge and Christian are going to get to book their own shit, and it's going to be great fucking television. And this shit could start popping them over millies potentially. And people are hating and calling him traitor and saying, oh, for the money. Yeah, it's the money, and he can still go. And like he's saying, he wants a challenge. He wants to wrestle people he never wrestled and get millions of dollars and contribute and do something exciting and get this tickly feeling that he's addicted to, that every wrestler's addicted to, that he's not getting anymore in WWE because he's done it all. And even on his big return, like he did the unthinkable and came back from retirement. Now he's doing the unthinkable, doing literally what everyone thought, proving him right, he would never do. He would never jump ship, ever. Hey, Edge, did you ever think of going to WCW? Did you ever think to going to TNA? Well, he did think about doing that just to get the tickles, bro. Once you do it all, it's like fucking you want more. And yeah, dude, this is like I cannot blame him for this whatsoever. And if you're mad at Edge, you were never a fan of him in the first place.
And it felt fun. And I felt almost like the same feeling I would have when I'd come out for my indie shows, back when I was either Adam Impact or Sexton Hardcastle or something. Yeah. And it was this brand new thing that I always wanted to do. And that feeling, I felt it out there tonight. And that at this stage of my career, to feel that's special. That's, man, like, come on, 31 years in, and to feel that way, that's a gift. And this is all I ever wanted to do. And this feels like an opportunity to come in and not just come in every 3 months. I have to be there every week.
Yeah.
I'm a full-time guy.
Now you got me watching Dynamite attentively every week.
I want to do that for as long as that is possible, because I feel like that's how I can help the most. And more than anything, that's what I'm here to do.
It's great news. And in even more great news, we're going to hear from Adam Copeland, the Rated R Superstar, for the first time ever on AEW Dynamite this Wednesday night. Perfect way to begin a new era and to celebrate the fourth.
So yeah, Tony puts over listen to this.
I'm really excited to have you.
Yo, this part's so cute. And this is the thing. We got to put Tony over for this. He's shaking everyone's hands. He's not hugging everyone anymore. He's shaking everyone's hands. So clearly someone gave him some advice, or Inoki's fucking ghost imparted some fucking magic on him or something. And he's gained some wisdom from that fucking gorgeous scarf. I love how the way Edge just bursts out laughing at him. And this is what I mean. Listen, I roast Tony. I give him a hard time, but I don't hate this guy, man. And I think it doesn't get made clear enough in some areas, right? Like, dude, I support this guy. I want this shit to win. I really, 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 really. In an ideal world, WWE's getting $3 million and AEW's getting $3 million, and they're going head to head. It's just that's not what's going on. And yes, we're hypercritical and boisterous and being, like entertaining about it. We're putting on a show. We're doing a podcast, right? But it doesn't mean our criticisms aren't valid or aren't real. You got to lighten up. And this moment here is where I implore you to go watch the video, but you'll hear it. Edge just like Tony Khan just geeks out so hard here, and Edge just bursts out laughing at him. But it's so endearing, and it's just like, this is why you can't hate Tony. Like it's like, dude, he's just a rich kid who is fucking playing, just giving wrestlers money and living his fucking dream. Isn't that why you have $1 billion? If you could have $1 billion right now and give it to your kid and say, here, kid, live out your dream, wouldn't you do that? No, because that would be a pompous rich kid. Okay, fucking Reddit cringe, fucking Reddit commenter, shut the fuck up. Like, you would do the same thing. I don't know. He just loves fucking wrestling, and you cannot be mad at that. And I'll never be mad at a guy who I thought would never wrestle again in 2011. Edge from Canada. Yeah. Oh, Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not only that, dude, he came back and he I don't know, he got paid in the fucking shade. I don't know, dude. I get to see Edge and Christian live out their creative freedom fantasy mark booking fucking ending to their story. They get to live it out in AEW. I'm here for the ride, dude. I'm gonna eat the shit along with the sandwich, you know, and fucking yeah. Anyways.
This Wednesday in Stockton on Dynamite for the first time ever.
Yeah, I'll give the mission statement and kind of explain.
So Tony's going to just mark out about how he booked a whole Dynamite. He moved it from Wednesday to Tuesday for his own birthday. Just listen.
Happened tonight. And what my thought process was there, because there was a lot.
Which I'm an October baby too. I'm a Libra, so shout out Tony Khan. We're Libra babies, and yeah, that's why I think I like him, man. We rock together.
Different things going on emotionally out there tonight. Hey Keith, how you doing? Good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah, man. Like if you can't tell, I'm pretty excited, and I feel like a little kid again. And this is the best gig in the world. It really is. Yeah, I'm a kid from Southern Ontario, and this is all I ever wanted to do. And if you had told me that 98% of what would happen to me throughout my career would happen, I'd say you're crazy. Well, throw this onto the list, and at the top of the list now, because my God, it just, man, I can't tell you how excited, and even just, so I'll tell you a story. Friday, I fly here Friday.
So the moment I was talking about, I jumped the gun a bit. It is coming up, but here's Edge explaining what he did with Darby Allin, how they shot the vignette for like the package that appeared before he showed up at the venue. I don't know, man. Just stories like this, like, dude, I don't want to shoot on shoot work though. But Hairline would understand this to the fullest too. Like, dude, when you're on the come up in an industry, whatever, you're shooting your own stuff, like that's the journey's the journey is the special part, you know. What comes after is what you work hard for and what you know, lay back and lay your head to rest and leave for everyone else. The journey, all that shit that happens throughout the way, that's the feeling, that's the important shit. And it's little things like the story he's about to tell, man. Like, this is in WWE, you're not getting this. In WWE, you go, oh, I want to do this vignette. Then you have all these writers and producers and all these people put it together like this fucking, like a professional television show. Here, listen to the story Edge tells, and this is what he means by free. It's not a shot at WWE. It's just a fucking objective truth about what it's like to go wrestle for a promotion where they pay you millions of dollars to do your own creative shit, and the boss wears an Inoki scarf and goes, it'll be great.
Friday, right? And I called Darby, and I'm like, hey, Darby, you're a Seattle guy, right? So I want to get a muscle car. And do you got any cool sites that we could shoot? So we just went and guerrilla shot Friday night from like 9 to midnight.
All the vets
and
love
I'm
Darby.
Hanging out of the back of an SUV,
Swerve,
holding the cameraman while this muscle car is going 50 miles an hour down Gum Alley. Was it Gum Alley? With all the gum, which was disgusting and awesome at the same time. And I'm just like, I'm hanging out of an SUV holding the cameraman, and I'm just cackling at 49 years old. Like, this is amazing. What are we doing? This is awesome. And again, back to that word, just free.
Boom.
Sorry, verbal diarrhea.
It's great.
No, it's great.
Amazing.
It's great.
And
it's amazing.
I love seeing you like this. I'm so glad.
Listen to this part. My word, dude. This is the part I was telling you about. So cute.
Glad you're happy to be here, and you're jumping right into the fire. Not only are you going to be making your first ever appearance on Dynamite this Wednesday, but then the following week, first of all, you're also coming to Collision, I believe, in Utah on the 7th. So he's working both shows this week. We're going to see Adam Copeland, the Rated R superstar, Wednesday night, Dynamite in Stockton for the first time ever, and we'll see him for the first time ever on Collision this Saturday. And then the following week, Dynamite is actually going to be on Tuesday, October 10th, for Title Tuesday. It's my birthday. It's going to be a great event. We're going to have a great time. I'm very excited about it. And I got the greatest birthday present in the world, because the newest member of the AEW roster, the Rated R superstar, Mr. Adam Copeland, has requested a match on October 10th in Kansas City. And we got a little preview of that action tonight on WrestleDream. Based on your request, it's going to be Adam Copeland, the Rated R Superstar, versus Luchasaurus.
Boom.
On Tuesday, October 10th in Kansas City. And Luchasaurus is a multiple-time champion.
Christian's like, Edge, you got to come work this guy, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, he gets it. Yeah, dude, how can you be mad at that? And then him just bursting out laughing at Tony Khan. Title Tuesday on his birthday. He booked Edge's debut match for his birthday. It's like super sweet 16. That's what AEW is. You cannot be mad at it, dude. It's like super sweet 16. It's so goddamn funny. Edge is like bursts out laughing at the fact this motherfucker moved it to his birthday, October 10, Title Tuesday, the whole show, and then booked Edge. Like that's the most rich guy shit anyone could ever do, dude. Like I would, oh my goodness, I'd do the same thing. Probably not, but you guys get it. Like it's just so funny. You know, he's adorable. You can't even be mad at it. Yeah, so that's Edge. Let's listen to more of this.
The toughest wrestlers in AEW. It's going to be a great debut match for you.
It'll be hard.
This is the show. No hairline. We're just going to listen to the whole thing, I guess.
But I will say Luchasaurus is a guy that I always saw and saw so much potential in what he brings to the table. It's also kind of jumping into the deep end of the pool, but that's what I do.
Awesome.
Way to keep
so great,
brother.
And
so
and we can take some questions.
It's great. It's so great.
But like I said, I mean, I've never faced Samoa Joe. That's really exciting to me.
That's a great
I've
match,
never
dude.
faced or been in the same ring as John Moxley. Highly interesting.
Come on,
to me.
dog.
Claudio, never been in the ring. Like there's so many different talent here that I have a lot of respect for, and I'd really like to feel what that is. Kenny Omega.
Yeah, that'd be
never
good.
happened. I just met him. We'd never met before, you know. There's a lot here to see and to challenge myself with. And again, that's my entire life has been built on challenges. So to look at that, oh God, a guy like me, that's a steak dinner waiting to be eaten.
Yeah, he's so excited to be in AEW, guys. This is a good thing for the business for real, because he's a real Edge is a real like could really be a real game changer, like that term they always use. You know, he could really be that guy if they play these cards right with him and Christian. And that TNT title's never meant more, which is insane. The network, I don't know, man. The network must love them. The whole thing with them is 500K a show. We've all known that the whole time. So, I mean, as long as they just maintain that, and if Edge is going to show up on Saturday nights, they're going to keep popping big ratings like they've been. Fucking AEW, man, they're coming back. They're swinging. But if Punk goes to WWE, which I could see WWE doing now again, just to be like, no, fuck you. It could get crazy, but I don't know, man.
I love that. I watch movies and I just, why'd they make that choice? I used to follow directors around and they'd be so annoyed. I'm like, why are you making that choice? Why are we turning around here? Why are we getting this angle? I'd go to the DOP, go, what's going on here? What's going on with this lighting? I'm just fascinated. It's part of why I fell in love with this industry, is the storytelling element of it. You know, it's a form
Tell
of
good
art.
Stories. Here's the thing, man. The AEW or the Elite, like the Death Threat fans, like those guys are gonna like, what are they gonna say when it's like the people who are going crazy, like, oh, AEW, whatever, WWE sucks, like it's E-drones and all this stuff. So Edge is gonna come in and he's gonna get over by shooting star presses and all this shit. No, dude, he's gonna come in and have good pacing, good psychology, tell good stories, and that's how he's going to get over. And then that's going to be all of a sudden the best stuff in wrestling. Christian and Edge are tearing it down. Like that's what's good. I mean, it's going to be funny, but again, that's what social media is today, I guess. But moving along.
And that's how I've always looked at it. And now it's an even more nuanced form of art that I just love. Second behind my wife and my kids.
We can do a few more, I think.
Yeah, I'm on a roll.
Yeah, he's on fire.
Hello again.
Hello again.
Keith Elliott Greenberg with Inside the Ropes magazine. You mentioned that you were here Friday night. Now, there's a lot of people in this room who I think had there been.
So he tells a story about how he just kept low key in Seattle or whatever.
Oh, that song's with me wherever I go.
So here and then here he talks
you see
about
something that you.
So yeah, he tells a story about a kid recognizing him, but how he stayed low key, and then he tells a story about how he kept the how he got the Metalingus song, which is fucking crazy.
Think worked. It was always bounced off Beth, and then she always gives me better ideas back.
Kevin Deers with Defy Wrestling. So the song that you came out to tonight, iconic song.
Yeah.
On this day, it's real to me. Everything is gone to hula. Sorry, guys.
Why was that important for you to come out to that as opposed to a new theme? And was it difficult to secure that? Do you own the rights to that, etc.?
So Alter Bridge are my friends. Mark Tremonti, who wrote the song, is a very good friend. So that song's with me wherever I go. That was very important to me. To me, I've always.
Dude, honestly, Edge doing a shot in New Japan though in wrestling, like fucking, I know people go like Okada, but like, come on, man, that would be fucking cool, dude. Imagine like there's something like a Tanahashi's about to retire. I know people go, oh, I don't want to see 50, but Edge is like all on this TRT. He took really good care of his body. He's not known for being injured a shitload other than, oh, he literally retired because of his injury. But that one injury aside, like he's one of the most consistent fucking wrestlers who is around like consistently through different eras. Yeah, the point I'm making is, I mean, not to mark out, but him doing like a New Japan shot against someone, I don't know. Even I'm envisioning like Edge versus Jay White. Oh boy, that's a match I would love to see.
Always been very musically motivated. And I think it sets the tone for a character. And it also sets the tone for Adam to get in that place. And that music from the
Adam Page, Adam Cole, Adam Copeland, it's too much. They got, and I know it's like, oh, but is there real? I guess. Actually, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to put AEW over. At least they don't make people change their shit. You know, they're helping. They don't keep their shit. At least that's, you know, a thing.
First time I heard it in Mark's house after I dropped a beer in his foyer, after just meeting him, he played that for me with his scratch lyrics on it. And I was out with a neck injury. I was like, can I have that song? He was like, absolutely, dude. And we just met. And 20 years later, here we are. And I called Mark and I said, hey, what do you think? He goes, absolutely. Absolutely, dude. That answer is not going to change. And that was really, really pivotal, important to me, because it would have felt weird coming out to something else.
It popped me so hard.
Thanks, everybody.
It popped me so fucking hard. Okay, and then we'll skip ahead to Christian. So MJF comes out, Jericho and Kenny come out. Now we're just gonna listen to Christian's whole bit here too, and he fucking just buries Brian Alvarez. It's so fucking funny, and you can tell he's working, but you can tell he's shoot working.
Here is the TNT champion, Mr. Christian Cage.
And fucking Alvarez doesn't like it. His ego does not like fucking Christian calling him out like this.
I don't need your lame applause. I know how good I am.
Questions for the champion?
None? Can I go then?
Hi, Mark Hoke with the Mark Hoke Show, 101.5 FM Kate on Las Vegas. Your old friend showed up tonight. What were you thinking?
I said this in the last scrum. I don't have any friends other than Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
Was it a surprise to see him? Yes. Did I care? Not really. Doesn't change anything for me. I'm still the face of TNT. I'm still the TNT champion. I'm still the man to beat in AEW. You understand that, right? That a few short months ago, people were saying this title meant nothing. And I've taken it, and I main evented WrestleDream tonight with it. I made this title.
Absolutely.
This title, in my opinion, is more prestigious than the world title.
Ooh.
Mainly because I carry it.
Yeah.
But I think my track record speaks for itself.
It does.
And I think you have to give me my flowers now.
You do.
Do you not?
It's Brian from the Wrestling Observer. When did you
Great, like talking to Marks.
when did you first see Nick Wayne wrestle? And what were your thoughts when you saw that first match?
I've never seen Nick Wayne wrestle.
Never.
He just
Do you wrestle?
He
Thank
just
you.
stares
Do you
a
wrestle?
fucking dude.
I know how good I am.
Oh my
It's for
god,
itself. And I think you have
Christian, I gotta just watch it again, dude. He just bodies him.
that. Okay.
Server. When did you
Great, like talking to Marks.
when did you first see Nick Wayne wrestle? And what were your thoughts when you saw that first match?
I've never seen Nick Wayne wrestle.
Never.
He just oh my.
Do you wrestle?
Thank you.
Do you wrestle?
No,
You don't wrestle.
I did back in the day.
I'm sure you sucked, which is why you're here asking me questions.
I wrestled his father.
But what did you give a star rating tonight? Did you give
I
a
did
really
not
cool
give a
star
star
rating?
I did not give a star rating.
Fucking just he deserves
So
it.
what's the question again?
I was wondering what you thought when you first saw Nick Wayne wrestle. But you said you never saw him.
I've never
wrestle.
seen him wrestle.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I know he's a good boy though.
He is a good boy.
He was a little bit lost,
Yeah.
but he found his way tonight. And I will guide him to greatness. I will groom him to
Christian,
take over one day
Christian's so good.
everything that's mine. Nick is a fine boy. I see a lot of potential in him. I didn't need to see him wrestle to know how good he is, to know his potential. He's wise beyond his years, young Nick Wayne.
He's like almost like Will Ferrell, but like serious. Like it's
JC from Habit Sports. Christian, you just said that you were going to mold Nick Wayne. Is it more on the other end? Are you brainwashing Nick Wayne?
Brainwashing.
what kind of fucking Mark question
Did I
is that?
You were going to out wrestle him tonight.
I did out wrestle him. My hand was raised at the end. I beat him 2 falls to none.
Isn't that the kind of stuff that he would normally do that you said proves he's not a great wrestler?
Did I say that? I don't remember saying that.
Tony, God, he's making faces.
Questions for the champ.
Shout out Tony for trying to keep kayfabe, bro.
We did see an old friend show up tonight, but I was wondering, as the title holder, do you have your eye set on anybody else as far as a challenger, or are you just waiting for someone to step up next?
Why would I target somebody?
Exactly.
I have the most prestigious championship in this.
What are these Mark questions, dude?
Any more questions for the great champion? It was a classic main event. It was a classic pay-per-view, and you've been a huge part of what I think has been the best run of AEW shows we've ever done. Largely thanks to you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, it's been great having the champion here. Let's hear it for the TNT champion, Mr. Christian Cage.
Yeah, so
That's why I don't use those things. Thank you.
that's why I don't use those things, he says. I don't know. Christian's money. He's money in the bank. Tony Khan applauds him. It's great. It's all great. Yeah, guys, that's I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of all that. Edge and Christian are going to give us really good TV. To read Adam Copeland at Edge Rated R on X to read his statement. So he tweeted this out, and a lot of people were getting toxic in here, ironically, considering what he says. So this is from at Adam Copeland at Edge Rated R from the desk of. As some of you may know, I'm no longer with WWE. My new home is AEW. I'm excited. Whole new roster, some familiar faces that I wanted to work with again, and a whole set of first ever matches, new challenges. And if you followed my career, you know that's what I've always been driven by. But first and foremost, I want to address my 25 years with WWE. I love WWE and appreciate everything the company did for me, always have, always will. They put me on the map, gave me amazing opportunities, and through hard work on both ends, I've been supplied with a wonderful life. Hell, WWE helped me meet the woman I'd start my family with. Sometimes relationships just grow apart, and I feel that the WWE and I have just outgrown each other. I wanted to do more. They didn't have much more for me to do. Simple as that. And that's okay. I'll still be watching and still be supporting all of my friends there. I don't buy into this odd mentality of one company or the other. It's weird. If you took offense to that, take a walk, get some fresh air, and soak up some sunshine. Yeah, excuse me, it's wrestling, an amazing gig. but still, it's wrestling. Relax. It's supposed to be fun. And it's just a segment of the fans, not most fans, and definitely not the performers. Within the industry, we all know that more choices is better for everyone and pushes us all to do better. As a wrestling fan, which I still am, it's exciting that there's viable companies providing wrestling on national and worldwide platforms. If you're actually a fan of wrestling and not acronyms, that should make you happy too. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is this. If you've appreciated my work, you still can, no matter what the initials are, because I'll still be busting my ass every time I'm out there. This ride isn't over just yet. Just try to have fun like it should be, because trust me, I'll be having fun every time I'm out there in an AEW ring. Let's go. Yeah, some people are fucking hating, but it's mostly popular, you know? And yeah, man, shout out Edge, dude. That's good shit. It's good shit, pal. And lastly, I just want to talk about fucking Raw before we wrap the show up. I'm not going to give an in-depth review, but basically, you know, we got a bunch of Imperium stuff. Imperium took out the Alpha Academy. Maxine's a dime, of course. Trick Williams was on the show. Cody Rhodes was out there. Rhea Ripley is showing dissension in the fucking Judgment Day. She's roasting Dom, being like, if you don't beat Trick Williams in the rematch on NXT, then if you don't have the title, don't come home. So that shit's crazy. Judgment Day's falling apart. And then yeah, we had some Tegan Knox on the show. She's okay. Bronson Reed squashed Cedric Alexander. Shout out Cedric. And shout out Bronson Reed. This is how you should use him. We had a contract signing, Gunther versus Ciampa. So instead of putting it on the pay-per-view, they're like, we're gonna do it tonight. Xavier Woods beat Ivar, so he's just like a big man jobber lately. Rollins said he's gonna take out fucking Nakamura. Nakamura attacked him, laid him out, and counted. Like, he had a promo package. It's genius, where like he's counting and to 10 and he just like jumped Rollins. So like he attacks Rollins in the ring, but he has his own video on the screen playing of him counting to 10, and he just slaughtered Rollins. So Rollins is going to beat this guy, but I don't know, man. Nakamura, give him a good push, whatever. We're going to get Lynch and Tegan Knox, obviously. We had Chelsea Green with Piper face Tegan Knox, and then they just jobbed Green. So Green's like again, she's like a champion, but a jobber, but I don't know. She's great in that role. Like, I'm never this guy, like, everyone needs to be world champ. I think she'd be great there, but if they just see her losing and stuff, she does a great job at making people look good. And I don't know, Tegan Knox starting to win me over a little bit here. So Uso and Cody Rhodes, Jay Bluso and Cody Rhodes, they're going to get a shot at the tag team titles at Fastlane. Yeah, they're not going to win them though, unless they do, which I'll fucking barf if they literally do. But Drew McIntyre comes out and he's like, I don't got to answer to anybody. I'm doing me. Miz comes out. He goats him into a match. McIntyre squashes Miz. Miz was in a suit, so it is what it is. I don't know. And then we got Trick Williams on Raw. Shout that out. Then we got an Intercontinental Championship match, and it was such a fucking good banger. It's supposed to be on the pay-per-view, but again, Gunther, he's like the big match player before the pay-per-view. I keep putting it over. Tommaso Ciampa put on a great match. Imperium attacks Ciampa. DIY returns, as in Johnny Gargano hits the ring, and we're gonna get Vinci and Kaiser versus fucking Gargano and Ciampa. I wouldn't be surprised if we also got like a Gunther Gargano match out of there where Gunther beats him. I don't see them taking the title off of Gunther anytime soon in the near future. Some people are like, do it now. Now's the time. Nah, I don't agree. Just keep him crushing guys. Like, what else do you do with him? You know, like when you move him up to get the world title, he has got to be the heel that transitions Seth's babyface run with whatever babyface run is going to conquer Gunther eventually. Right. So it's like, you gotta, that's what Gunther's role is in all of this. So you just got to keep him killing guys, I think, because what else do you do with him? But I would love to see DIY get in that tag title picture. It's the only thing that makes me interested in Gargano. They were rushed for time and pulled a fucking AEW and ran out of time when they're hitting the fucking DIY knee super kick shit. They went off the air. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Shout them out. And I don't know. I just hope the way doesn't come back and all that shit. I know Hairline's at home fucking wishing they would too, but at least we got DIY, right, Hairline?
Yeah.
So yeah, Gunther wins the match, and again, showing he's a big time player. Yeah, this was an episode of Pro Wrestle Times podcast with Phil Marks only. I hope, again, I can't wait till Hairline comes back again. Show him a bunch of love down there. Again, shout out our patrons, patreon.com / Pro Wrestle Times. Mark Hugh the Mark, Reggie Rodriguez, and Ashley V. Shout you guys out. And guys, just go hit that like and subscribe. We're at Pro Wrestle Times everywhere on social media, youtube.com / Pro Wrestle Times, and what is it again? At Pro Wrestle Clips on YouTube as well. And then guys, I hope you enjoyed this show, my ranting and raving. I had a good time. When Hairline comes back, we might also kind of just quickly run through the week-to-week shows so we can just dig into the more fun stuff and then really dig in spot for spot in the matches with the pay-per-views. This Raw I breezed through. That's kind of like what myself and Hairline have discussed we might do more, but let us know what you guys think. Unless something like needs to be broken down and talked about thoroughly, I think that's the way to do it, because we like to talk about funner stuff as well, and we just want to get shit out more timely to you guys, and that's totally feasible. But I just can't wait till the motherfucker gets back. And this has been Pro Wrestle Times, and yeah, we love you, man. Phil Marks, I'm out. Yeah and for Hairline, he's out, and we're giving him yeah anyways. Fuck yeah, Stranger Things.